This is going to be an off-the-tripod video today because there's no way I can get a tripod to work with this. What I'm going to show you today is my little reloading setup because I've been getting a lot of questions about it ever since I showed you that I got the reloading kit for Christmas. And due to the political climate, there has been a lot of people actually getting into reloading, and I do not blame them in the slightest because, especially when you have real stupid states like, I don't know, ones that are going to make you get a background check for ammo. I don't know any states like that. Fuck Cuomo. I can see why they would want to get into things like that. Of course, until they decide to just flat ban reloading and call it concocting weapons of child and cop death in your basement. Can you believe there's mad scientists? I'm sure they'll spin in some sort of fancy way, but these are my reloading setup is what I'm going to show you. But first of all, I'm going to show you the rounds that I made to show you what's possible with this setup because I've read a lot of stuff about reloading lately and watched so many YouTube videos, and you can really go in a bunch of different directions reloading. Personally, I definitely think you can go too light, as in you don't really get enough stuff and you're kind of wasting your time. You're not going to be producing any sort of amount of rounds. Like if you get just say like a Lee Classic loader or something like that and do each round by hand, I think that's a little too light. And you can also go too heavy where you have to get everything Dillon in the solid gold scale, and if it says Lee, you might as well just throw in the garbage at the store. Nonsense. I'm going to show you what I have, and I'm going to show you what I can make with it. So here's what you can make with it. These are my 308 reloads, and these are 150 grain Hornady SST. That's the special, I think, special synthetic tip, something like that. And don't take any of this load data, because if you're new to reloading, again, you should always be using your manuals. Don't take any data you find on the internet or people like on YouTube giving you. This is just what I use. But these are 150 grain Hornady SSTs. These are 308 Winchester, loaded with 42.5 grains of Hodgdon Varget. I think that's how you pronounce that. Hodgdon, something like that. And CCI, or not CCI, Remington large rifle primers. And you'll notice they're in two groups here. That's no coincidence. Some people, there's a debate. Separate your brass, don't. Separate your brass, don't. With the rifles, a lot of people separate it. With the pistols, people generally don't. So I decided to split the difference. Don't separate the brass until after you load it, because then when you have it all loaded, I just get 20 pieces of brass, because they're all mixed in my collection anyway. I'll just get 20 pieces of brass. And then after I have them all loaded, I'll just check the head stamps. Okay, these are Remington and those are Federal. Because I've noticed there's really not that much of a difference between the two. If it was military cases, that'd be different. That's a totally different case. But commercial brass, there's really not that much of a difference. But I do separate them after they're loaded in case I want to find, that I just want to get a baseline 3-shot group. I'll take 3 of these, as opposed to, coming over here. I wouldn't mix them. I keep them separated, but after I load them, because there's really not that much of a difference, I have not found. So we take a look at one of these rounds here. These completely shattered the thinking that, oh yeah, reloading is just dirty and all you're going to get is crap, because these are minute of angle right here. Definite minute of angle rounds here, I know, because I shot a minute of angle with them. And this is my first attempt at reloading, first batch ever. It just worked perfectly, didn't have to change a thing. Can't complain. The other thing I load beyond 308 is 40 Smith & Wesson here. And these, because we're in this political time, are actually hollow points. You're not really supposed to load hollow points if you want to save a lot of money, but one thing you'll find is if you buy hollow points, just the bullets as opposed to the whole cartridges, you save quite a bit of money. You can get 100 hollow point bullets for about $23, and that would be the cost of pretty much 20 hollow point rounds. So yeah, you're still saving money with this. These are 155 grain, because that's all they had. Hornady XTP hollow points. 155 grain, and these also fit into 10 millimeters in case you're unaware. Mixed brass and CCI small pistol primers, and Alliant Power Pistol powder. There's 7 grains in there. So if you're not a big reloader, you're not going to understand that right now, but this is just an idea of what you can make with the stuff with the setup that these are sitting on. So let's take a look here. I'm going to move back, and this is my downstairs setup. Okay, again, I know this is going to be very shaky. I know, I don't want to hear it because I'm not on a tripod. This wouldn't work. It's too high for a tripod to actually get up to. This is my reloading setup. I'm going to take you through what each thing is. You'll notice things like this blue monstrosity over here. This was actually a workbench before, and we still keep some various household items around here. So pretty much the right side of the bench, and anything that looks like it's random, it doesn't belong to the reloading stuff, like that little walkie-talkie there, because again, this was a bench one other time, and we do keep some household items down here. I'll clean that stuff out eventually, but right now, here's what we have. This is pretty much all my reloading stuff in the middle. But let's start from left to right over here, and basically my thoughts on everything I have. So I started out with the Lee breech lock single stage press, and that's right here. It came with the kit. This has been great so far. Some people get the quick change bushings, and that's what this is right here, and they get sets of them and they put them on all of their dies so they can quickly change out their dies. I didn't do that because I've heard that you can actually strip the threads. Don't know if there's any truth to that, but spinning the dies in themselves down to the locking collar doesn't really take all that long. It takes maybe 5 seconds instead of the 1. I think I'll live, but this has just been a great press. I've reloaded probably maybe about 100 308s with this, and I think about 140s because I just got the 40 dies recently. But here it is. It's been very nice. I haven't had any problems. It's bolted down. It doesn't come with the bolts to bolt it down. I had to get these. These are, I think, 1/4-inch bolts. I think it also could take 5/8, I think they said, but the press doesn't really move when you grab onto it. It's bolted into nice solid wood here. This is like 2 inches thick of wood, so it's not going anywhere. Even with the rifle cases, it doesn't move around. You got your primer catcher down here. Here's all the spent primers from the rounds I've shot. I want to get it full just because I like seeing things fill up and then dump it, because I'm that kind of person. Here is the Lee Perfect Powder Measure. I have used this with both rifle, extruded powder, rod rifle powder, and flake powder, small flake pistol powder. Didn't leak on either of them. I heard some people say it leaks with ball. Can't speak for that. I've only used it on extruded and flake powder. But it works fine with both, and it is very accurate. It is very accurate. I used the scale that came in the kit, and it's very accurate. No kabooms yet, and you know how picky, well, you might not, but I'm telling you, you know how picky those 40 caliber Smith & Wessons can be. Like 1 grain is the difference between not cycling the slide and you're going to the hospital. So I haven't had any problems with that, so I cannot complain at all about the Lee Perfect Powder Measure. Don't have any experience with any others, so that's both a good thing and a bad thing, because it's a bad thing because, oh, I can't really tell you how good it is compared to any others, and it's a good thing because I've never used one before, and still this thing does very well. Moving over here, this didn't come in the kit, but here is another thing I bought. It was the Frankford Arsenal Bullet Puller. If you get a round that doesn't work, oh great, the dog's got linen. If you get a round that you put too much powder in, or you're not sure how much powder you put it in, or you don't know the seating depth, or it's too deep, this and that, you can chuck a bullet in that little collet there in the back, and then you whack it against the table, and the bullet and the powder and all the brass will all separate, so you can save all your stuff. Powder funnel, that came with the kit. And let's see, moving from left to right here, I bought a digital scale. This didn't come with the kit, just to see how I liked it. Don't like it. Here's the calibration weight for that. Don't like the digital scale. In fact, lots of people like, oh, sorry about that interruption. The dog's decided to be a little louder than normal. So I mentioned I bought this digital scale. Don't really like it. I, in fact, like this Lee Safety Scale. I think that's what they call it, Perfect Powder Scale. A lot of people love to complain about this. Oh, it's cheap and this and that. I have not had a problem with it. It's very accurate. There goes the water pump in the background. It is very accurate, and I never had a problem setting it up. Some people are like, oh, I can't read the little lines in there, and I don't really like dealing with it. Again, can't complain. Never used any before, so I can't say this is better or worse, but also because I've never used any before, I didn't really have any experience with it, and still I managed not to kill myself with it, so can't complain about the Lee Perfect Powder Scale. Digital calipers. I got these from Amazon. These are the True Power digital calipers, and these have been fantastic. They had real good reviews on Amazon. I think these were about $25, and they've just been great. Checking overall lengths, checking case lengths to see if they need trimmed and stuff like that. So there's that. Here is all we have, our read material. I have the Lyman 49th book, which has been the best resource so far to get recipes. I look at this, and then I look at some of the powder manufacturer's website, and I see quite a variance. And when I go with these, the Lyman book recipes, I seem to get good results. I got good results with the 40 and 308, so I do enjoy this book, and it has a great section on how to reload. So it's I definitely enjoyed reading that. And then I have my handwritten recipes in the back where I compiled data from books like this and how they worked. I write little notes about it and stuff like that. There's the pens to take down the information. Here, in this little toolbox here, is all the various bips and bobs for reloading. If we open this up, you'll see just something I bought and haven't used it yet. This is the Lyman case prep tool to chamfer and deburr, and there's also a couple of pocket cleaners in there and military crimp reamers in there. I haven't used that, can't really comment on that. But here you have extra collets for that bullet puller, an extra O-ring, and here's your various shell holders. Here's the Lee chamfer and deburr tool, your primer holders if you want to prime on the press, which I do. I've never had a problem with it. Some people like to prime by hand. I did it on the press, never had a problem with it. Various cutters and lock studs in here. And then if we open the bottom, we get pretty much our lube stuff. Here is an RCBS lube pad, RCBS lube. There's some Lee lube down there, and some neck lube brushes. There's also a wrench for tightening down the press, which I haven't really had to use because it stayed put. That's what I keep in here, just various different small things. Over on the right side here, we have our reloading blocks. I got 2 of them. They were about $10 a piece, and they are fantastic because you can stack your rounds up on them and not have them tip over and spill powder all over the place, which is a pain. Whereas if you just had the rounds balancing on this desk here, you knock one and they'll fall over, and then you have to redo them all. And if you get a domino effect going, you are going to have a bad day. So there's that. This second row really isn't reloading stuff. This is gun maintenance stuff, except stuff like this. You got all these fluids over here. This new polish goes in my tumbler to make the brass shiny. And the tumbler, speaking of the devil, is under there. I know you can't see it because it's all dark down there, but I have a Frankford Arsenal tumbler. Maybe I can get my flashlight so we can see down here. There it is. Frankford Arsenal tumbler. Some Lyman media for it. I still have I'm using the same corn cob though. And a tumbler case media separator thing. You put all your brass and media in there and you spin it around and it takes the media out of the brass. And it comes out really shiny when you use this new finished car polish. I got that as a tip online how to make your brass nice and shiny, so I tried it out and it works. But again, this is just my gun maintenance stuff. There's some pins from my shooting range, shows that I'm actually a member and a real person and go to shooting ranges and things like that. But that's just gun maintenance stuff. Here's the reloading stuff. Here's the reloading components right here. And I'm just starting out, so I don't really have all that much. But here's what I use for the 308 Ogden Varget. And I got an extra one because they're hard as hell to find right now, finding components. Ogden Varget, I still got about a half pound of this left and the full pound in the back there. And it's really clean, really accurate. A lot of people seem to like it. That was another recommendation I got for the Varget, which I think is a combination of the word varmint and target. And I really enjoy it. Great for the 308. And the Alliant Power Pistol. I got like 9/10 of a pound of this stuff left. And this is what I use for the 40, and it's been great. A little bit muzzle flashy, a little bit loud, but can't really complain. Here's the bullets. I got 2 packs of these Hornady SSTs, 150 grain. Really liked that the first time, so I got to restock on that. And there's exactly 1 bullet left of this because in this 100 pack, and I made 100 rounds with it, there was 101 bullets. This is the 10mm for the 40. 10mm and 40 both use the same bullet, so there you go. Here's the dies. Got my dies here for 308, and got my dies here for 40 caliber and 10mm. I like the Lyman dies. I got Lyman for the first time in 308. Some people like them, some people don't. You really got to try this stuff out for yourself. And I liked them in 308. They really seemed well made. I didn't see really a problem with them. I liked how they were made, so I got them in 40. Extra bullet boxes. These things are always great to have. These case guard things. Actually, I got an extra one here for 308. I actually have 3 of these boxes now. I need to get another one for 40. They're really well made and they're really cheap. I got these on Cabela's for like $3 for this, and they are really thick, really well made plastic, and they'll protect your bullets instead of just having them rattling around in your range bag. I have a couple of empty bullet boxes here that I can use for like 9mm if I ever decide to reload that. And it's never gonna be detrimental to have too many ways to carry your bullets. And here, way away from the powder, are the primers. I have my large rifle primers here, and this actually goes over here, and my small pistol primer. So I have 1,000 large rifle and 1,000 small pistol. Again, still just starting out, and actually I had 1,200 because these are also Remington small pistol primers. I decided to pick up an extra 200 because of the political climate. And over here are some boxes and my safety primer feeds that will go on to the press here. And if you guys would like to see a video of me actually making a round, let me know. I will take you through beginning to end. Again, this is very beginner stuff because I did not know anything about reloading before I started this. I did all the research myself. This isn't something that I knew like from my parents or something like that, brought down from my grandparents. No, this was all my own accord here. And so again, this is very beginner setup. But now the most important part, price. What did all this stuff cost? Again, people can go very light, and you can actually start reloading. Talking about the kits, not the components like the powder and the primers and stuff, for like $23 if you get one of those Lee Classic loaders where you get a mallet and you do everything by hand, it only neck sizes and stuff like that, you can. But realistically, without getting Dillon presses, which will drive you into the thousands if you get everything Dillon, Just starting out very basic. You don't even have to match brands. These are Lee presses and Lyman dies. They all fit each other. You can get the shell holders don't have to match either. I like the Lee shell holders. I have a Lee shell holder set in this miscellaneous bits and bop box. Uh, but you don't have to match at all. You can mix and match. But so what it might cost? Well, the kit, which came with the press and the powder measure and the funnel and the scale and basically everything to get you started except the dies, was about $125, 125 to 150. The dies, your one set of dies, go for about, it depends. The rifle ones tend to go for cheaper because you get less dies. They'll go from about 50. If you want pistol, they go for about 70 because the top is a 4 die set and you see the bottom is a 2 die set there because you have more dies involved with the pistol die sets. So I mean, there's another 50 to 70, so you're about 200 to 220 there. And digital calipers, so that was about another 25. So $245 there. And again, I didn't need the digital scale because that was kind of a waste of money. Oh, you're going to need a good book. I think this book was about $25, so we're about $270 now. And you don't need the lube pad and stuff like that. I showed that, but it makes it easier. The lube pad it came with the whole kit, it came with lube and everything like that. That was another $20, so that brings us up to about $290. And so basically, I could say easily, and you got these reloading blocks here. They were $10 a piece. Maybe you want two. I like two because you can take one from one, put it into the other, blah, 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 blah. Those are $10 a piece, so that would add another $20. So that's about $310. So I would say for about $300, you can get a nice setup, which I would consider that a nice setup. I mean, it's not Dillon, it's not top of the line and stuff like that, but it's a nice setup. You don't need the case tumbler. Again, that's all just stuff that makes it easier. You don't need the case tumbler pretty much at all unless you're going to be picking up range brass or you're going to be shooting the same brass over and over and over and over again, so it gets really dirty. But I like to do it because I like my brass to sparkle. But for about $300, you can get a nice setup. For everything I got, including the tumblers, including every set of dies I have here, even including the components, I'd say I got out for about maybe a little over $500, and that's including the components. And these components, a pound of Varget will go for, let's see, what's the price on this? $25, so that's about $50 there, and then $20 for this. These were about $30 a piece. This was about $23, and then the primers. These were about $40 for 1,000. I know you can probably find them cheaper than that. So yeah, with about everything here, probably a little over $500 with enough stuff to load all those rounds. So I would definitely say worthwhile investment. Again, this is coming from an absolute beginner here into the reloading spectrum here. Let me give you kind of a wide angle shot of everything here. This is my bench. Also got a nice light, but that was already down here. You really want a nice light, so when you go and look at the rounds, you can make sure they all have powder. You're not missing any powder in any of them. So this is the wide angle of it. So yeah, good investment. Definitely suggest it if you're on the fence. Definitely do some research like me, and you'll find out that is definitely a good investment. Oh yeah, over here it's dark, so you can't really see it, but I keep all my brass range pickups and stuff like that. 40 Smith & Wesson. I got 308 back there. Pick up a lot of brass from the range. Buy some brass from people. You can definitely save money for this. To give you an idea of the savings so far, I can load up a box, which would be 20 rounds. This box doesn't hold 20, it holds 50. I'm talking about like a factory box of this Hornady SST 308 ammo. This stuff. I can get it for right about $10. And that's good ammo. I mean, those are good bullets. Whereas I can go to the store and pick up some crappy Remington Core-Locked soft points for like $20. So I'm already saving half, and I'm getting better ammo. That's very accurate. I can't really complain. So yeah, again, this is just a little beginner's overview of the setup here. And for not too much, maybe the price of a Glock, you can get all this stuff here that you see here, not in the middle row because that's the gun maintenance stuff, to start reloading. And all the components. I mean, get your pounds of powder, I mean, everything you need, your dies and everything. And then you're all set, because when I want to get a new caliber, all you need are the dies, a shell holder, which if you buy the Universal set like I did, you don't really need to go get them, and the powder, which if say I wanted to restart reloading 9mm, I already have Power Pistol, which is good for 40 and 9mm, so all I would need is the dies, because I've already got the shell holder, Just buy a set of dies, use Power Pistol powder. Oh, and yeah, obviously you need the bullets. But it's definitely not, once you get past the startup costs, you're saving money. I think I've made probably 4 boxes of these 308s. So at $10 a box savings, and you're getting better ammo, which is an intangible, that's already $40 back. Okay? With the 40, I'm not saving as much. I think I'm saving about $5 a box. So, because I'm making 40 for about 9mm prices right now. So I think I've only made one box of this. Well, that's 2 boxes of 50, so there's another $10. So that's about $50 right there in savings. So if I do that 10 times, I've already paid off this setup. Do it some more, I'll have enough to maybe buy a progressive press, but I like to start out on the single stage because then I'm learning everything step by step. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of all over the place, but it's just beginning reloading. Oh, another thing I want to point out, I got these mats. These are those anti-stress mats that you can walk on. Definitely good for this concrete floor, because standing on this concrete floor, pumping out rounds, really was a big pain. So we got these anti-stress mats. Now everything's great. It's like walking on a cloud. So I hope you enjoyed this reloading video, and go out and consider it, especially now, folks, especially for you crazy people in New York. You must be a lunatic to live in New York. Can't even imagine what somebody who lives in New York looks like. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take it easy, guys.